Well, hello and good day to you all. My name is Dimitri Frederick, and you're watching Voices for the Voiceless, a Frederick Media production and a subsidiary of Frederick Capital. Today is November the 30th, 2012, and the title of today's show Is the United States Too Big to Fail? Part 1. This show is actually going to focus on a 4-part series that actually addresses the question, is the United States too big to fail? This 4-part series is broken up throughout the whole month of December. I'm going to focus on that. It starts actually today, this Friday, the last week of the month of November. But we're going to look at 7 key issues going on this whole fiscal cliff that we're talking about this whole month of December and just a little bit after Thanksgiving, since President Barack Obama got reelected for a second term. And that's been the hot topic in the news. And so we're going to look at issues like the AAA rating of the United States, relations with China, what's going on with that, the healthcare of the economy, as well as the healthcare of your health, your insurance. We're going to look at the baby boomers. It's an issue I talk about a lot. We're going to look at your 401k. Is it really still a 401k? We're going to look at the state of politics. We just went to a heated 2 years or year and a half long election campaign that's now over. Is it same politics as usual? We're going to look at that as well. And lastly, but most importantly, we're going to look at taxes. There's a lot of issues versus, what's going on with your taxes, for the wealthy or for the middle class. Now, these 7 key topics of the fiscal cliff, which we just went over, they are randomly going to be discussed throughout the next 4 weeks of December. So just stay tuned and just, keep an eye out for each show as they come up in part 1 to 4. So the question goes again, is the United States too big to fail? Undoubtedly, the answer is yes. As much I may not want to say it and you may not want to say it and admit it, it is truly too big to fail because there's too many people, too many other countries that's really dependent on us for survival. And so the United States is too big to fail. But America needs a wake-up call also to realize what is going wrong with this country. You know something? It is always hard to see your own problems around you when you are the one stuck in the middle of all that drama. It is like being in a domestic, destructive, and abusive relationship, but you don't think he or she is that bad at all. The reason why I am not going to spend too much time on this ongoing issue and debate is because nothing will change. And that's the reality. Like I have said throughout the show, this is a political grandstand. And it doesn't matter which side you're on too, whether you're Democratic or Republican, it is just a political grandstand. Don't be fooled because there is an intelligent black man in office that all of a sudden things will begin to change. It's going to be the same old thing as always. Always remember that change does not start at the Oval Office. It starts with us individually. It starts with our mindset and our philosophies. That is why if you are a business-minded individual like me, you will not care that what goes on too much politically because we have a plan B in place. We are building our financial wall of independence without a handout or another government bailout. And every small business owner out there should be proud of that fact. That is why I believe that it is the network marketing industry, with the help of the baby boomer generation, together that can save this country from its own self-destruction. So for the next 4-part series that I'm going to be talking about, I will be focusing on the real issues at stake and giving you day by day lookout, just like, Speaker Boehner is always on television going over what's going on between President Obama, the Democrats, and the Republican side. Well, I'm going to give you each week a close-up look at the issues that's really not being discussed that you really need to pay attention to so that you can make your best decision for your family and your financial future as well. I'm going to give you all some insight as to the biggest issues at hand that makes this idea to raise the debt ceiling or even going over this fiscal cliff that you've been hearing about so much is just a joke to the American public. Like I have said over many times, our politicians have come to learn how to do one thing very well, and that is to keep putting bandage on each problem, even though the patient, which is our U.S. economy, continues to bleed out. Let me give you some examples. We have created a new welfare system that encourages our youth to keep having babies with no financial support of their own, because the big government secret, if you don't already know, is that they will foot the bill on the taxpayer's dime. And it is as though the majority of our teenagers today have gotten the memo that it is okay to keep popping these babies, these kids of their own, because the government will always keep stepping up and give out a helping hand each and every time one is born. That is why I have dubbed the term prostituting your babies, because it is exactly what this generation is doing. Instead of exchanging sex for money, our children have come to realize that it is a lot easier to exchange their babies for an early lesson on independence. Why do I say that? Our broken system is right now continuing to pay for their apartments, diapers, baby strollers, food stamps, etc., all at our expense. Listen up, folks. I know that 50 years have passed, but I have not forgotten my history as well. After the Great Depression, the baby boomers' parents went through a massive state of growth and abundance, which the baby boomers inherited as young adults in the 60s and 70s. Moving forward now, 50 years later, this country is now in a state of retraction. By 2015, boomers will begin to pull back financially from all the resources they inherited and create themselves in the last 75 years or so, from their parents to them as business owners, family investments, and so on, retirement funds, So this leads me to my next point. Do you realize that this issue alone is actually repeating the baby boomers generation all over again? Except this time, the results will be catastrophic to everyone. So what makes the babies having babies generation think that they have some kind of entitlement waiting for them? Well, the answer is simply because of what's the offspring, which is Generation X's, of the baby boomers experiencing. A life of abundance without the work ethic that was required for that level of success and wealth. In other words, with great wealth and success come great responsibilities. This brings me to the conclusion of part one of today's show, Is the United States Too Big to Fail? I'd like for you to come back for part two that looks at your 401k and taxes. I am Dimitri Frederick, signing off. You have been watching Voices for the Voiceless. As always, I hope you have been enlightened, empowered, and definitely have been educated. Take care and God bless.